Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Now, on our last video, this is what we talked about, and we'll go through a slight review and then move into a new topic for today. But this was pretty intense, and you can see the board looks kind of chaotic. So let me go through just a few of the points to bring up the fact we're in an illusion and you are unaware of how deeply you are embedded in the egoic belief system. And so you don't see the illusion. So let's talk about it. Now, here's what we talked about. How you bring your world into existence. And basically, we talked about the subconscious mind, the subconscious mind over here, the conscious mind here, and the input information from our senses. And to start with, we talked about how fast the subconscious mind processes information, which is an indication of how powerful that part of us is. And the subconscious mind processes, at least that's what we have found out, 450 billion bits of data per second. And we receive information from our senses at 11 million bits of information, most of which is visual. And then we have what our conscious mind is aware of all of this processing. It processes at 100 bits per second. In this whole process, the conscious mind is the smallest and the slowest and knows the least. But because it speaks our language, this is what we believe is primary. Now, that's what I want you to kind of get and question. This other process behind here that creates your world is operating way outside of your conscious awareness. And so you're not familiar with it. You say, well, no, that's not there. My conscious mind, it tells me everything. No, it doesn't. It only tells you what has already happened. And so you believe it. It's also attached to your ego. So between the two of them, you don't know what you're talking about most of the time. So this is going on behind the scene. Now, we also talked about Markov chain, the Markov chain, which basically says, and I have to read it off of here because I keep forgetting the part that I want to remember. It's a mathematical process, but here's the essence of it. In a sequence of events, the next event in the sequence is based solely on the state of the previous event. So as we go through, and this is the standard model for the illusion, as we go through this, we are not concerned with all this history. We're not concerned with the infinite field of everything. We're not concerned with where we were born or raised, or our education, or anything. All we're concerned about is the present moment, which is an event, and how that present moment determines the next event. And so that whole process then leads us to the creation of our world. And our world is the only world. But here's the thing. This is streaming. So as the infinite field out here changes, as our lens of visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory shifts, we develop a different lens of perception. We develop a different next moment, and then we develop another world. And the world we had before unfolds into the current world. This world is shifting all the time, but it's the only world there is. Now, I'm saying that kind of easy because we think, oh no, other people have worlds, other people have adventures. Doesn't matter. This is the only one you know. It's the only one that exists. And so this is all there is. And it's moving and it's undulating all the time. Everything moves, nothing rests, everything vibrates. And so this world shifts and you shift in relationship to it. So that's basically what we talked about last time. Outside of you, meaningless. Inside of you is the meaning that you create. And it's the only meaning there is. So that's what we talked about. And now we're going to move on to another interesting topic. Now, and this is our subject for today. And I'll read it off my low paper here. Did you know that ultimately everything is energy? Ultimately, everything is energy. And that's our discussion that we're going to try to stay close to. There is no matter. Now, to clarify this a little bit more, I'm going to use a quote from Einstein. We are having a little green tea today. I drank most of it because I've been sitting here trying to figure out how to present this. So I may have it disjointed a little bit. Have to start and stop. But let's see how it goes. So here's what Albert says. And there's a reference in the description. So here's what Albert says. Concerning matter, we've been all wrong. What we call matter is energy, whose vibration has been so lowered as to be perceptible to the senses. Matter is spirit reduced to the point of visualizing. There is no matter. There is no matter. And so that's what Albert came up with. And we're going to take that off on here. Well, this is our discussion. Everything is energy. There is no matter. So the mind is energy. It's not physical. But in the egoic world, the body is viewed as a physical object. So we have the mind that is non-physical, moving the body, which is thought to be physical, but as Einstein has suggested, it's not matter. So, in that case, we have the connection in the egoic world between the non-physical mind and what we think is the physical body. And the non-physical mind is directing the non-physical body. Now, in another video some time ago, and I'll reference it, but it was video 316, we ran across information from AI through Google search, very specific, that indicated that decisions are made by the subconscious mind before the conscious mind is aware. Now, if you go back to our last video, that should be pretty clear, because the subconscious mind is operating billions of times faster than the conscious mind. Billions of times faster. And so it is taking in all the information, and you can begin to think about Markov's chain. He's taking in the information and making decisions, and then the conscious mind becomes aware of them after they've already been made. So here's what, in that case, we'll reference it again, AI said, and this is what it said. Yes, evidence suggests that many decisions are made by the subconscious mind before the conscious mind is aware. And you can check the references out, and there's other things too to take a look at. So there is an interconnection between the mind and the body. They are connected. But it is the mind that is making decisions. But in the egoic world, we think it is the conscious mind that makes all the decisions, and don't realize they make very few, and they're not important decisions that they make. Most decisions are made by the subconscious mind. But your ego and the conscious mind will convince you that they're making all the decisions. And that's part of the illusion. That's part of what needs to be restated in a way that makes more sense to the process. And what is that? First is energy. From energy, matter moves. We usually look at it the other way. We say, oh, we got this physical stuff, and it gets very complicated, and then we get the mind or consciousness. No, it's the other way around. First is energy, and then what we think of as physical things evolve out of that as the energy slows down such that our senses can absorb it. Now, you can't see energy fields. Now, right here, we have an energy field. Now, it's a tornado. So you've all seen pictures of tornadoes on YouTube, on news broadcasts, on all kinds of stuff. And you see them pretty clearly. Why? Well, there's trees and sometimes there's puppy dogs and sometimes there's parts of cars and roofs of shingles and all kinds of stuff. Those are not the field. Those are the debris within the field. So if you were to take the debris out of the energy field of the tornado or any energy field, magnetic energy field, you don't see a magnetic energy field unless you put a piece of paper over the field and you sprinkle iron filings on it, and then you get to see a picture. But you don't see the field. Now, when you take the debris out and you take the iron filings off the sheet of paper, this is what you see. What do you see? Nothing. Why? You don't see energy fields. You feel the results. You can see, like in the tornado, the debris of the results that are in there. If it happens on the ocean, there it's called a water spout, and it picks water up, and you see it as it doesn't look like this because it's just water in the ocean, or fish, or other things like that. So that's the difference between everything is energy. There is no matter. Now, let us go on and look at something else. The interconnection between the mind and the body, and recognize that there is an interconnection, and it's not physical, it's energetic. And we often talk about mind-body connection and how they influence each other. And it's very mysterious how they do that. Healing operates from the mind and not the body. The body responds only to the mind. Now, if you look at the body, you will see very quickly, hopefully, that the body does not experience the outside environment in any direct way. Does it? Why? Well, the only way information can come in to this system is through your sensory input. Sensory input. So when you have a sensory input, there's no place in the body per se for it to go. It has no facility for handling the raw data that comes from the senses, which is the only information about the outside environment. So that information must be decoded and sorted and filtered for relevant information in relationship to what is required by the body mind. And that's what we do. But it is the body's interpretation. It is the that waits for the mind. The mind, the non-physical mind, tells the body how to respond based upon the input information from the senses. So the body, you think the body is feeling the outside. No, it's not. It's taking in information from the senses, and then the mind interprets that based upon past experiences with life and signals the body how to respond. So the body responds only to the mind's interpretation. So we're talking about energy here, that everything is energy. Now let us go on and talk a little bit more, and let's kind of nail this down and ask AI, is everything ultimately energy? And here's what AI says, and you'll reference it. You'll see it in the description. Yes, in a fundamental sense, everything is ultimately energy. Now, why do we have such a hard time believing that? Why do we have a hard time believing, saying, "Oh no, things are physical, things are objects," and not follow the standard model for the illusion and how you create your world and how you can change it? You're a magnificent person. You're a creator, but you don't want to take the responsibility. And so you say, "Oh no, I don't do it. It's out here. It's the outside world." There is no outside world except energy. Hard to believe. So what else do we have? Oh, of course, in miracles. Now remember, you are so deeply programmed into believing in matter and objects and things that it is difficult to imagine. All there is energy. So let's see what the Course says. And here's what the Course says. This is in accordance with perception's fundamental law. You see what you believe is there, and you believe it's there because you want it there. Why do you want it there? Now, see, these two are tied together. You want it there because that's your belief. And if it wasn't there, you'd have to change your belief system. And your belief system is very deeply ingrained in you. Oh, there is so much to talk about. Now, let's talk about beliefs in general. A belief is an energy system. A belief is an energy system, which means not physical. You're not going to find a belief any place except in the mind. So let's ask AI, are mental constructions, which are beliefs, are they physical? And here's what AI says. No, mental constructions are not physical. They are concepts, ideas, and beliefs that exist solely within the mind and are not tangible like physical objects. It's all energy. Nothing in the illusion is what you think it is. Yes, there is things there. Yes, there is something there, but it's so far away from what you believe now. It is difficult to understand. Therefore, it's difficult for you to change your world. Oh, there is so much to talk about. The physicalness of the egoic world is an illusion. It is a heavy veil that we have pulled over our senses and seems impregnable in its physicalness to move. Yet, as you reach out and touch it with a questioning attitude, it yields like smoke and mirrors, and nothing physical is there. As I was writing this, I was thinking about this. I remembered the movie The Matrix. Oh, it's kind of a, a cult kind of a following thing. But in part of that movie, in the first part, Neo was on the spaceship there with Morpheus, and there was a mirror. And you look in the mirror, and he sees himself, and the mirror's there, and he puts a finger onto the what looked like a physical mirror, and his finger went into the mirror. And when he pulled it out, the mirror vibrated as it let go of his finger. There's nothing there but an illusion. But oh, it's so persistent and it's so beautiful. It is very difficult not to believe that it's there. Be good to yourself. And we'll see you next time, right here in the illusion. Bye now.